Now that Icebox 2.0 has been released, it's that time again for me to show you how to counter Killjoy's lockdown with some easy to remember lineups. Starting off with the most common spot for a lockdown to be placed on Icebox. In A main, the pipes lockdown was typically difficult to destroy, usually requiring an agent that could bounce their utility off the back wall, like Razor's paint shells or complicated lineups for Sova. It usually meant the defenders had to give up sight for free, while the attacking team sits comfortably in main waiting for the lockdown to finish. Breaking this lockdown is extremely simple. Bring up your map and ping the lockdown. Aiming just right of the ping through this door frame will easily destroy the lockdown, leaving the enemy confused and your team safe on site defending it. If a Killjoy cannot make the jump from nest to pipes, they may opt to use the lockdown in the lower part of A main. This is a riskier spot due to utility. However, it's extremely common amongst the lower ranks. Just like last time, bring up your map and ping the lockdown, and aim accordingly through the same door frame. Note that I made sure that my ping was lining up with myself and the lockdown. Be sure to not ping too close to the lockdown, otherwise you could end up pinging pipes and be aiming at the wrong spot. Retaking A site with Killjoy's lockdown almost always meant that the lockdown was placed at screens. As we can see, it pushes the defenders right out of main to the A site entrance and leaves a small gap under belt which could be utility spammed for easy pickings. Depending on the plant, it almost guarantees an easy defuse.
You should run.
If you're prepared, you can position yourself on these boxes for when the lockdown is activated. Again, ping the lockdown and aiming through the horizontal V, shoot right of the ping.
You should run.
If you follow me on TikTok, you may have seen this lineup to destroy it if you're fast enough. I post most of my lineups and Valorant content on both YouTube and TikTok. So if you're not following or subbed, go and check out the links in the description. A newly added spot to Icebox 2.0 allows for an excellent Killjoy lockdown location. This one pushes, or more so stops the rotation from A site to B site, dead in its tracks. With rotating defenders needing to wait for 13 seconds in mid, there is very little time to enter site and successfully defuse the spike without a great deal of luck or teamwork. But if you're still watching this video, you'll know exactly how to stop this lockdown. Head to mid kitchen and jam yourself into the corner. While crouching, aim at the corner of the door and the floor. Note that the ghost's inaccuracy causes this lineup to miss a few shots, but as demonstrated, you can easily make enough bullets connect before needing to reload. Now, if you're a Killjoy main like myself, you're probably thinking, well, this map sucks for Killjoy. Don't worry, there is some good news. There are still quite a few places that a Killjoy can use her lockdown safely. Take this lockdown in B main or green. Due to the containers being objects and not walls, there is no way to wallbang this lockdown along them. This goes for the opposite way too. If you have control of the site, a lockdown here can secure the defuse by pushing attackers all the way back to the starting barriers. Since the nerfs to Killjoy, I've adapted and made changes to how I use my lockdown. For instance, I've found that a lockdown is extremely effective for post-plant and for splitting up the enemy. Take this lockdown at orange for example. The lockdown can't be destroyed with any wallbang lineups, so you force the enemies to make a choice of retreat to spawn and likely lose the round, or hold at yellow as the only piece of cover. Chances are you have teammates watching yellow from snowman or the back of site, and your team can easily utility spam them. The lockdown didn't guarantee a free site, but instead forces the enemy to choose how they want to lose. Again, looking at another fantastic lockdown in mid pallets. If your team has a little control over A site, this lockdown forces the enemy to either push the site, retreat to spawn, or hide in the last available space under belt. Pushing site and staying under belt should easily be punished by your team, and any enemy that decides to fall back will now be coming from belt, giving your team one direction to look to convert the round. Do note that if the enemy does have any high penetration weapons, it's safer to place this lockdown next to the box rather than on top. If you must place your lockdown on site, behind this container is the safest from wallbangs. Backside has a cheeky wallbang, but the attacker is super exposed, so it's not really worth showing. And lockdowns placed in maze in front of site can be wallbanged similarly to how screens is wallbangable. Ending up where we started, I really don't recommend any lockdowns on attack for A side anymore. Wallbangs and utility damage is too much of a risk for a 9 orb ultimate. If you absolutely must, I'd suggest placing it at the rope to nest. While you give the defenders more space, at least the lockdown is safe. Guys, thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video, hit that like button and leave a comment for the algorithm. If you want to see more of my upcoming videos, do consider subscribing and checking out my other channels. Again, thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.